sync.
6:33?
Yep.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Both John and Jan are on both sides, so,
A little.
yeah.
That's what I heard.
And
Guys,
so
what are you
they
doing
would like
out?
to,
Just,
do
we're just
what
here
they
for
have to do to
2 minutes.
sign the
Okay.
MS7.
Just 2
All right,
minutes.
you have
Okay.
the original of that. And,
Hold on.
and in the meantime, we would like a public portion, so we'll do that right away and, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Last week, when you had your meeting, I attended that meeting, and I was sitting there listening, and there was a comment made while one of your board members was speaking, and it was a very unprofessional, not a very nice comment about somebody. I'm not gonna say who or what the comment was, but I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention that this has been eating at me for a week now. So I just feel like if there's a member that does not want to be on the board or doesn't want to take the time to listen to people without making comments, then maybe they should find something else to do. So,
I volunteer. I don't want to be on the board. Just kidding.
So cute.
I just think it was just very unprofessional, it was rude, and how you handle it as a board, if you handle it at all, I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Well, you know, if you can tell me, at least give me a hint of what it was, and then maybe we can discuss it, but,
You know, it was just something that somebody mentioned what they would like to do to somebody that was talking. And then a few minutes later, they made another comment. They got you could tell they were agitated that this person was talking or asking questions. And they commented, see what I mean, to somebody. Other than that, I don't want to discuss it, you know. It's been bothering me. Because as elected people up there, I mean, the least you could do is show some respect and listen while other people are talking without those kind of comments. And I'm not gonna say what the first comment was, but it wasn't very nice. So,
I was sitting next to Jeanette, so I was the furthest one in the budget committee, and then there was the selectmen table. So I just want to tell you, Tammy, if I'd heard something, I would have said something, you know. In a heartbeat, I would have just said that's not appropriate. So I want to apologize because I didn't hear it, and I would have said something to you because you're sitting right next to me, Jeanette. A couple of times when I heard numbers out there from the audience, I said, is that what they said? And I wrote it down, and you know, you said, this is what they said. So I know you would have said something to me. I know I would have said something to you. So I apologize. I don't know if it was in the audience here.
some other people heard it. I would rather not say the other board
No, that's
members or the audience or who it was. But I just, I'm so sick and tired of negativity in this town. You know, if you want to do something, you want to be on a board or in a committee, focus your energy on good things. It's just, I must be naive wanting to live into a community that wants to pull people together and do good things.
And I have to say that, and I said this to the school board, and Ken, you were there, the night that the school board made their presentation, I thank all of you for, your efforts, you're all volunteers, except for the FAU. It was a lot of work that went into the presentation that night in the budget committee meeting here in this building. And again, I did say something last week, I know I said something last Monday night, Tammy, about how much we appreciate all the work that you've done, you and Joe and the committee. So I mean you plural, the group, because our town is better off and we've taken our grandchildren there and we've...
Oh, it has nothing to do with rec committee, that's where you're going. Nothing to do
No,
with rec.
but of the volunteers, okay? Whether you're volunteering or Ken is volunteering, I've tried to acknowledge that because we have to remember, that, we're only as strong as our weakest link, and we try to, embrace those, people who have their heart and soul, into this, So I want to make sure you heard some, good
Oh, yes,
feedback,
I did.
out there. And,
I did.
I know Ken, I said to you at the meeting in this room, that there were some, good things going on with the school board. People don't have to agree with the school board or disagree. That's their choice. They can make it at election time,
Right. They don't have to agree or just, whatever. But as someone sitting on the board, I expect you to be professional and not be, I was offended by the statement and the actions. So I just wanted to bring that out to the board, and what you do with it, it's up to you. So, I'm just, I just get tired of it, It's like, if you are gonna do something and be on the board, at least have the respect enough to sit there and listen to people talking, asking questions without snide little remarks. So, that's all I have to say about it.
Just for the record, I'm not a volunteer. I do get paid. I get paid about $1,350 a year. So that averages out to about maybe
25
25
cents.
cents an hour.
Yeah, right.
I think right now you're in the deficit on the school board.
We approved seven meeting minutes between January 7th and January 22nd. Something like that.
I would also, speaking of that, like that to be reflected in your minutes too, that I brought this concern to the board.
Okay.
So. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. All right, we're here. One of the things we have to do is to sign the MS7, which is it has to be posted with the town warrant and sent to DRA, and then it has to be posted in 2 places here in town.
And the selectmen will post that with the warrant. And we have until Wednesday, so we gave you 2 days early. We're gonna give you copies
Yeah.
tonight.
We have to complete it.
I have 4 copies there. I need 4 originals, because I need 2 for the selectmen. And I keep 2, I keep 1 for the budget committee, and an extra 1 in case somebody steals one off the posting boards, which has happened before.
You might get sent some DRA. Just want to get something.
Yeah, but you can send 1 of the ones that you post, because you have to post an original. Well, no, you can, actually, I think you can post a copy, but
Those
you
are
have
marked
to,
as a copy, right?
the selectmen, yeah, but the selectmen get 2 originals,
Yeah.
so that's what we do.
Cool.
So,
I just wanted to make note, just so everybody's aware, because I know we ran into this before. There's a maximum allowable increase in the budget committee's recommended budget, $168,947.
correct.
It's just to make sure that
And
we don't
that's what
run
we
into a problem.
did last year.
Last
We
year,
sat there
2 of
with
us sat there.
2 of us sat there and calculated all the way through the meeting. So the meeting cannot be, they can't vote more than $168,947 more than the budget committee's suggested budget. Okay?
So that comes out to 1.952 million. Change.
You think?
I'm just a newbie, I remember. what it
I know,
said.
but I mean,
Yeah.
every year when I do this, I look at the previous years and I go, why did we go up? As a budget committee, we should be cutting. But
Not cutting, but
there again, if we cut
Valuing.
too far and the people do want things, you're gonna run into the same 10% problem that we had a few years ago. So we can only do what we see fit to do. However, the town can cut,
Show the bottom line again.
they just can't add to it, but they can cut.
well,
So Jeanette, if you want
That's the
to sign a
recommendation.
copy,
but
Okay.
and Sandy,
I'm sure you can.
and I will.
Okay, that's the 10% rule.
that's.
I-
What
line
you taking? We had 1 year. that
I don't know.
In the town.
What
meeting.
line you taking the town?
Yeah, she's taking.
Chair, vice chair.
You take the second one. I'll take the third one. How's that?
All right.
Well, can I have the 4th one?
Sure.
You certainly may.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Jeanette, should we give the selectmen their 2 copies and then I'll let Yvette know that they have them up and if she can stop up here and sign also?
Sure.
We know when you get one done.
Okay.
Do you want to do this one? Yeah, you wanna do this?
Just we'll get you guys all signed and then I'll do it.
Oh, we can count our lines. We know which line we're on.
I'm just glad you made it this time,
This
Mike.
is for Jeanette. Okay.
You do better with your attendance.
I know.
Okay. And who's number 5?
Me. Number 5, number 9.
Number 5.
Notice I'm signing in blue. There's a
That's your
reason for
choice, we
that.
do it, yeah.
It doesn't say that. does it?
No, as long
No.
as one person signs in blue, then we can tell
Marcia,
which are the originals.
Remember, we have to post that thing up there according to Jane Sam's, you know, the way to fill that in?
The selectmen do that. They're the ones that post it.
Okay.
You're next.
Okay.
I've signed them all? Seems like I have all signed.
You go ahead and sign, you.
Ken, have you signed these yet?
Yes.
That's his
That's his
signature
signature.
down
That's my scribble.
there? Oh, that's your sign. You got your laptop, huh?
Just went and picked it up. That's right. I even looked to see what they stole out of here yet.
Oh, okay.
Jeanette, when's the next meeting?
I'm sorry, it's gone.
Town meeting. I presume, no, we usually have a meeting, to discuss if there are certain questions on some of the warrant articles, who will field those.
Yeah, I don't know. We usually the selectmen get together with Jack and we sit in on it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's another meeting, will you let us know?
Absolutely. And if not, the 3rd Monday in March.
Which is after the town meeting.
Now, if anybody wants a copy of this, feel free, make a copy, and take with you.
Is it the same one that we,
It's the one I emailed to you.
Right.
But you're the only one I emailed it to.
oh, okay.
Sure.
And the selectmen get 2 copies. And I will get in touch with Yvette. I didn't know that she wasn't going to be here tonight. I'll have her stuff up and sign. So those 2 are for the selectmen.
There's nobody in today for holiday. I'll stop down in the afternoon, I have a doctor's appointment in the morning.
Thank you.
We'll need the time anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Laura has to get them together and then.
But you have to wait for Rick to come to Randy to bring their time sheets out.
No, that's actually,
Oh, wait, anybody know?
I think that's older, yeah. Nothing.
Where is he?
Janet Kayla was gonna call Frisbee today, to see if he was there, and if he wasn't there, then he would have been Maine Medical, or I think she said
Dartmouth?
Dartmouth or Boston.
Oh.
I asked her, I said, how can you find out? She said, you can just call and you say, could you please connect me to Aldrich's room? There's a lot of, you know, you have the security and everything.
This is the Skylar John.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What
Very
a-
nice.
I mean, we came on the accident right after it happened.
90
Oh,
people
did you?
showed up.
Just a lot of, these ice wipes. Yeah, actually Randy Talon was driving Spinelli's car,
Right.
and sideswiped and then following it up.
Purpose
On the
vehicle.
embankment, the snowbank, it might have been on top of a guardrail, I don't know, but hit a number of trees. sliding along the top of the
And he wasn't moving, he was not moving, he just slumped over the steering wheel, the whole windshield was smashed.
Right.
And all we could do, we were coming back from, you know, undiagnosed with bronchitis, you know, and found out that one of them had pneumonia. And all we could do, we had our masks on, all we could do is say, can we call 911 for you? Are you okay? Are you okay? But I said to John, oh God, all we have to do is just get out and help them, and it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, Rick Walker,
Randy was calling the police.
yeah, right, and Rick Walker,
I think it was Rick driving
it's
the.
one of the highway truck drivers that come down the road.
He's back, isn't he? Rick?
I didn't know he was on.
I kept on saying to John, look at the truck, and he thought it was, I was talking about the salt truck and the Spinelli's car in the middle of the road, it's like, no, it's the one off the road. On Silver Street here, Old Tate Lane. But I don't understand, because it was coming back about 12:30, this was back about coming back, and it's slushy and that, but it wasn't snowy, icy, like you've had some really bad days, you know, going down 153, you see worse conditions on 153. It was a slushy, but not icy, you know? But we had like little Ford Ranger type truck, and it's really very
You
lightweight.
think the other,
Yeah, but if your front wheel catches in that
Yes.
center lane of slush, you can pull you quick. And if somebody's not ready for it, they can overcompensate, you know, by pulling back, so.
Hit a few trees, you know,
Yeah.
So the next item that we have to address is the minutes that we have to approve.
okay,
There's a few,
Okay.
request permission to be excused.
absolutely.
You feeling
I'll
better?
be- Yeah, I'm now on steroids as a means of knocking the pneumonia down sooner so I can continue with the cancer stuff. But I'll be in tomorrow to sign the checks and so forth.
looking like this, but it's okay.
So I got a question, how come he has yellow and you've got blue? Is it usually the other way around? Wouldn't you
Just
just
make
let
sure
it
you
go and then
keep
get
the
the
originals.
Thank you very much.
No, I guess I'm just taking the blue pile, he's taking the yellow pile.
Well, you see, you're like a nurse, you have that blue thing over your head.
There you go.
He's probably the doctor.
Thank you.
And I forgot what date you have to post that by.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
but
work
it now,
tomorrow.
next time
We'll
we go
finish
to
the
the
rest of this
hospital,
like
I don't
that
care,
here,
it's just for this
and we'll
infusion,
put it-
I'm wearing a mask, because I don't want to.
Yeah, well, all you have to do is just put,
Some just run down here.
It's always a safe thing to do.
you just have to make the date that you post it, but it
And
has
then
to
I'll-
be posted with the warrant and the notice of the,
16
because the
days before
warrant,
the meeting.
16 days before the meeting. Because the
John,
warrant
John,
has the time and date of the
And
meeting.
we haven't gotten this back yet,
So,
so.
so we
Folks,
don't have the warrant tonight?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Okay.
I unlocked, will somebody lock up? Somebody-
I got it, I'll take care of it.
Okay. Hope you guys feel better.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks, we're good
I
there.
can't do Facebook thing, I can do that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start circulating these.
Yeah. There's a stack, sorry. But every meeting we kept postponing them. I think the school board did that too, didn't they?
Yeah, they have.
Didn't they meet and have like 4 or 5,
We know,
Minutes
we
to go
actually just,
through?
we just went through 7 sets of minutes.
7?
last
Yeah.
meeting.
I don't know how many there are there. There's a few.
Just too much.
And you let it go and then you forget, you know, did that really happen or?
Yeah, it's like marathons. It's like,
One of the copies rather than.
okay.
December 16th.
Do you want a copy because it's gonna be posted?
Sure.
Keep that one.
Is this a copy or is this original?
That's copy, because I got the original, she had the blue ink on it, so.
I'll go the one made for you.
No, that's it. I can
You
just
just
get a look at it,
Thank you.
I can make a copy of it.
There's one copy, right?
Yeah.
So you get them in order?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll have to mark down the dates and then. I think they start in December, don't they?
This was December 16th.
Yep.
Yeah. These are all January.
Okay.
Ooh, this is a long this, I see what this is, yeah.
Which one is that?
This is the school board
Oh,
The budget
the,
hearing?
joint meeting, yeah, and
Budget
you've
hearing.
got the,
the budget hearing, yes.
on the school
Right.
district.
Yeah, because your clerk did the ones for the deliberative session.
Yes.
And this was the one of the first.
And Laura is doing, or has done, the ones for the public hearing. So I don't have those either.
Yeah, and then we reviewed them and voted on them.
So if anybody sees anything wrong, holler.
I'm just gonna abstain on the second set of minutes,
Okay.
because I wasn't there.
You sure I might have just, not put you in there.
I didn't make it.
I know it's not like you're busy
Actually,
or
what was the
anything.
date on that? I bet I can tell one. I bet I can tell.
Probably a school board.
You just need to know, don't you? December 30th.
I should have. 16th, medical thing.
The 16th, you review.
Yeah, it was just before that. actually.
Now what? What did I do?
Nothing, I just looked at Article 4, Janet Kayla, this is the SAU, but Janet Kayla asked why the previous figure of 119,000 been adjusted to 120,64. Steve Welfer explained the previous figure used for equalized was not accurate and has been corrected. Well, then we corrected it again.
The spell word.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So software,
Yeah, well, sometimes I proofread, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't. If we only found one out of this set,
Be happy.
yeah.
Okay.
You guys are welcome to read through these if you want, but you were all here for all
Oh,
of
that's
these.
okay.
Just wherever it says that Joanne said something, cross it out.
I think I was at this meeting, but I'm not listed, I'm not sure, I think I was.
You
February
might have
third-
come
February
in
third.
late.
Oh, so if you're in late, you don't get recorded?
That's
at all,
right.
is that it?
No, not unless you say something.
I'm here.
When you talked about your attendance day the other day, Mr.?
Yeah, I know. My attendance is bad. I don't know who he thinks does this.
It must be done.
I'm almost laughing because every once in a while I'm like,
Which
like
way are you
that.
sitting?
If I'm like that, the keys will hit it, start beeping, but truck's over there, you wanna hear it?
You know what? I have never done that. Yet.
That is good.
Yeah, I will, I'm sure, but I haven't yet. You might as well read the short one. She's on the long one.
Yeah.
You didn't find any other errors?
I'm not typos. I don't get all that stuff.
You haven't heard from Linda yet?
Let her take care of it. Oh, she's not here. Well, you're here in her place.
Did we find out yet on the fund balance again?
For the school? You're not gonna find out, we can project.
Oh,
like,
that's
We
right.
can project like
Give it to
200,000.
the
but,
auditors.
You know, by the end of the year, they can tell us get a good idea,
Right.
because what they do is they just have an estimate of what POs are out and what billings are coming in, like including the tuition, I don't know what the tuition bill is, but it hasn't been paid yet. to a certain level of encumbrance that goes on for the next month, the month of July. Every once in a while, they really screwed up and we're going to September, even though it's supposed to be done by September 1 with the DOE 25.
Right. Well, it wasn't that long ago, I had to sign some stuff that said final bills.
Final bill.
Final
Oh,
bills.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've done it. Top-notch financial department.
That was a nice open house on Saturday. I had never been through since they did the addition, so.
Oh, no?
No.
That's probably my third or fourth time through.
Yeah, sure, but
They kind of dragged into the, kids got dragged down the classroom stuff though.
yeah, classroom tours took way too long. You know, each and every classroom we were going in and out of. And then they tried to hurry us up because they were waiting for us in the technology center, so.
There's a young couple of girls who's pregnant with her first child, so she's going through that whole, she was sitting down on the floor, getting tired, and I looked at her, and her husband, I said, you're supposed to have some food with you, just in case this happens, That's it, you're supposed to stay on top of these things.
Well,
You're
Sandy and I,
gonna be your first one, right? Remember how that was kind of, you couldn't get enough food and you're feeling lightheaded, and
yeah,
then the second or third one's like,
yeah, I know, it's just that.
Yeah.
You just eat all the time, that was all there.
Ice cream stand
Yeah.
down there, they all said they put an addition on and everything after my first one.
Yeah, my Betsy was born September 4th, so I carried her through the summer. Yeah,
Isaac was
9 months pregnant in August, that's a lot of fun.
All of my children were born the first 6 months of the year. I had January, February, 2 in May, 1 in June.
I'm not gonna ask you how you did that, because I know.
Good planning.
Yeah.
It's called regulation.
It's called lucky.
Yeah, well, I had Julie in October, so it was about the same thing. She was born the
Swollen
first week
feet,
of October.
swollen ankles.
Swollen everything, thank you. But, the other 3 were all born in May and June, so.
So what do you guys think about the school up there?
Nice, nice. I mean, I've been through, I was doing a lot of touring around. Betsy's kids were in Olympics of the Mind. Remember, it used to be Odyssey of the Mind?
Yeah.
They were involved with Olympics of the Mind, so I've done a lot of the tours of big schools. A big school is a big school. It's nice, but it's a big school.
Oh, you did?
I was more interested in the technology center, which I had never been through, so.
You ever go to lunch there?
No, we left.
But we looked at the dates and when they're open.
It's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Yes.
Is that right?
12 to
Yeah.
1:30.
You got a sense of what Pat puts out.
Yeah.
He came in from Phillips Exeter Academy. And actually, I think he's like a son-in-law to Charlie Wheeler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's a son-in-law.
Well, he's really dragging that kitchen up, and I said, as he should, because.
Oh, yeah.
So he said there are restaurants, very, very, very nice
Yeah.
restaurants that don't have the equipment up to what they do.
Yes.
Don't leave me, you gotta go by my house.
They do
Okay.
culinary and then they do hospitality.
Right.
And what's happened is Bill Marriott walked in and I think he gave one kid a full scholarship 4 years.
Wow.
Conditionally, he goes to work for him for like 4 years afterwards.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Plus he's made some contributions, so that's what happens.
Right.
Excellent.
That's
Yeah,
one thing we're kind of hopeful and thinking about, if this goes through, you'd be surprised what can happen. They look at our story. I'm already thinking like New Hampshire Charitable Foundation. I guarantee you can get $25,000 grant. They get like do like all the preschool classroom stuff, I already got a grant picture in my head, and I can pull it off.
But once this
Pay
is
for all
approved,
the
there's a lot of things
materials
we can start outreaching for.
The outfit,
Right.
do it under the auspices of early intervention, outfit for pre-K and kindergarten. There's all kinds of things you can do, and every little bit like that helps.
Every penny will make a difference.
Exactly.
We're not there yet.
Every day we're getting closer.
You gotta get ready, get Stephen King's phone number ready.
Okay. Get the letter already written up. It's not a big thing, so.
Apple's got their thing going. Google does. They'll get their little things going.
What about like Dell computers or gateway computers and stuff, the actual hot, no, they may do something, who knows?
I need a motion to accept.
Any other business?
For each one.
Can I have, no, just
She's
a
the
motion to
minutes.
accept
I'll
all
make a
the
motion that we
minutes
accept the minutes as read
and corrected.
and corrected.
Thanks.
One typo.
Any second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. That's what I do in my spare time now.
Okay, any other business? Anything else?
I'd like to have done this when John was here, but at one of the meetings, Janet K-Rock was making issue of the fact that John Hoskins is a member of the budget committee, whereas there's two selectmen on the board, the budget committee board. We reached out to New Hampshire Municipal Resources back earlier this summer to make sure this was not an issue. We were advised by them that it would not be an issue. Since she brought it up again, we called back and the same person, Paul Sanderson, who was there, all of a sudden he said, yes, it is an issue. Well, since he's had it one way and reverted his decision the second time, we did contact Jay Whitelaw,
Yeah.
the town council, and she has also said it is legal for him to do so, as long as when he's on the board, he only speaks for the village district and not as a selectman. And I think,
Boy, that's hard, huh?
no, I mean, there are some things I think he had to speak to, like when you asked about the shed, the salt shed and stuff like that. So, but other than that, I mean, that was what came out of that. We have an email stating that, and there's any different for the record you can. So, he is legal to sit on it. He is needed by her interpretation of the law to be able to sit on the budget committee.
And it's not, what's that word, when two selectmen
It's
meet,
not-
and it's
Not,
not
no,
posted?
quorum.
no
No,
conflict.
we don't.
No conflict.
We don't have to post a separate meeting.
No, it's not a conflict, but do the two of you being together at a meeting constitute a quorum?
No, that was the reason why Janet
Okay.
said that, and that's what her interpretation was, no, it does not, as long as.
But if you have 3 selectmen in a town, and 2 are at the same meeting, wouldn't it be wise just to stick it on the board? That you're gonna be meeting with the budget committee?
Why do we have to do that if we are part of the budget committee? It's already been posted once.
I don't know. But to me, if you have 2 selectmen that are at a meeting, and there's 3, and then 2 are at the meeting, I don't know.
Usually,
It's like you posted on the door when you're gonna be here from 9 to 12, when you 2 are here.
typically, we've gone through this on the school board. Usually because Farmington is looking to get wrapped up into our business.
Okay.
For instance, we'll want to do a workshop. Or we go up to Governor Wentworth. And when we went up there, I said, I would like the rest of the board to be present. However, I will be asking the questions and responding to the board. I just need you to be there. Because when you're going up to that board and you're saying, will you consider educating our 7 to 12 grade students, it is polite and appropriate that I'm not there by myself to have them there.
Right.
We didn't post that. And Farmington started making statements on that. And frankly, I could care less what they say. The board in turn said, there's only 4 of you here. Where's your 5th member? And John Malone was taken very, very ill at the time. But they picked right up on that. And I knew they would. Because they're curious, if, oh, is he not here?
Is
Because
it-
he doesn't want to.
Is it unanimous or not?
Right, it wasn't, it was a decision we made here in this building. So what I'm trying to illustrate is that it's when you, it's just like if we all showed up for Old Home Day for the dinner.
Right.
We don't post, even though we all know, you're going here, I'm going, you're going here. Just like us, we all say, yeah, we're all going to the Old Home Day.
Right.
Are we gonna post it? No. If we're gonna talk budget committee business and make decisions,
Right,
you better post it.
right.
So it really comes down to the essence is engaging in decision-making that the public has a right to know about.
Right.
You'll hear that they make recommendations, the Attorney General's office, like what you're talking about, that, well, just to be on the safe side. So we started doing that with Farmington, because we said we'd like to go down and observe their meeting. So we had the SAU, and the SAU was, you know, kidding me. Oh, we're just doing it because Farmington's complaining, you know, we don't care
Right.
either way, but they're
Right.
complaining. So all of a sudden SAU has to post these non-meetings that, oh, you know, the board is gonna be present, but they're not gonna be making any decisions or discussing. And you end up getting into this like nutty
Right.
lifestyle.
Right.
Okay.
And everybody starts walking pins and needles. Don't discuss board business.
Right.
That's the objective. People have a right to know. So if John and Joe start discussing, you know, oh yeah, you know, we'll change that budget, we'll change the selectmen's budget. We'll just let Terry know. Flag goes up. Bang.
Right, exactly. But I see what you're getting at, though, when they are both attending one of our meetings, it's a posted meeting anyway, so the public knows that we're meeting and they have a right to be here, so.
The more, the
It
piece,
is posted whether they'll be here or not, you know?
the piece I'm more concerned with is I'm hearing different opinions, what you just relayed. There was something
Yeah.
from what?
It used to be LGC Municipal, New Hampshire Municipal Resources, now they renamed it.
So then they came back with something else. Now,
The same person, 6 months ago said, yes, you can do it, it's fine. And then, like 3 weeks ago, he said, no, you can't do it. So that's when we went to the attorney,
Right.
and she gave us her determination. on it.
so what does chapter 32, is it 32 budget?
Mhm.
Committee?
Budget committee.
What does chapter 32 fall under, what department in the state? Like, I know 194, 195 falls underneath education, which is
Yeah,
chapter
it's-
15.
Town and city
towns,
government, town and
Town
city
and city
government.
government budget, you know, there's
Yep.
a special,
Yeah, but
specific.
it falls under,
Yeah. And then it goes on to say about the membership.
There you go, municipal budget law. This
Oh,
32
my page is
pages. Trying to save you
That's
from
what's
looking.
Title 3. So there's a state department that oversees Title 3. Is what I'm getting.
Oh, that's what you're getting at. Oh, okay,
Oh,
gotcha,
okay.
gotcha, okay.
Education, I think, is Title 15 or 16.
Right,
So if I call the Attorney General's office, I have a question on statute, they'll say, what's it about? I'll say education, I'll say, what title? And I'll say, or chapter, and I'll say it, and they'll look it up. Okay, no, you have to go to the department.
right.
So that's the piece I'm getting
I
at,
see what you mean.
is that if they're getting multiple different types of answers from attorneys,
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know,
I
I don't really know
have-
the answer, but,
I have the copy of it here, and it states here,
are you looking at the statute?
but the
Workbook.
LGC,
Workbook.
yeah, but that's
Says no.
the
Yeah.
LGC interpretation
Well,
of the RSA's.
The
and
night
it-
of the deliberative session over there, Ms. Kaler did approach Mr. Savage about it afterwards. And his, not that he's another
Right,
lawyer
right.
like that, he
No.
says just common sense. He says, if you had two answers from the municipal, New Hampshire Municipal Resources,
Right,
but you've contacted legal counsel for the town, and I will go with legal counsel.
right, absolutely.
Now,
Why
was
would
it
you not?
Jeannie Sims that said
It was-
two different answers?
No.
No.
It said it's Paul Sanders. The guy
Oh,
named-
all right.
Paul Sanderson.
Is he an attorney?
Yes, he works at the
Yeah.
LGC, or New
Yeah,
Hampshire
that's
Municipal
what I
Resources.
thought, because I think I had spoken to him when I called up there and
So-
on other things.
So anyhow, I mean, that was it.
Right,
Because they
right.
flip-flopped there,
Yeah, you needed,
council has to be
you
decision.
needed a
Right.
direct answer, right.
All right, now, the second thing is, and I can go get the emails if you want them. The detail account has been subject to controversy on the budget committee as well, about what the vehicle be used for, when, whatever. Jay, also,
The what?
the new police cruiser, the interpretation was that once it's purchased, it can only be used for doing details only and nothing else.
Oh,
Okay, hold on just a minute. Because I'm the one that said that, I don't know if anybody else has or not,
No, I haven't.
but I did say that because that was my interpretation of the wording for the
Warren article.
warrant article. And I told Laura, I said the only reason I'm complaining about this anyway is because I see it as a department in town making a capital purchase for the town without the town's vote of approval. And I don't like that. I don't.
What I heard you say, what caught my ear was, who's gonna maintain that vehicle?
That's my point,
That's the-
because,
It's not so much the capital,
what they
who's
were-
taking care of it?
well, I know, but it's a capital expenditure for the town, which means the town owns it. And that's what I asked. Who's gonna own it, the police department or the town? And they said, no, the town. And I said, then the town's gotta register it, insure it, and maintain it. And yet, the police department has, I have heard myself and other people have told me that they have said, it's not gonna cost the town a cent. Well, it is. And I don't think it's fair for them to say that, number one.
I agree.
And I don't believe it's fair for any department in town, whether it's the police department or anybody else, to make a capital expenditure without the vote of the town. The same would go for Rick. I don't care how much you give him in his budget. If he goes out and buys a new truck, I'm gonna be pissed. Because the town didn't vote on it. And I think the town has a right to vote on capital expenditures. That was my take. The same for the EMS board. You know, I don't want to see them take their funds and go out and buy an ambulance, even though I know that that's what the fund was created for. But I don't want to see them do it without a vote of the town, because I don't think it's fair.
But in the revolving fund, Marcia, it said that they would do all repairs out of that. They would get paid out of it, their retirement would come out of that, and then their gas, their tires, and everything would come out of that fund to pay for that equipment downstairs. Whatever vehicles they're using.
Whichever vehicles they're using, correct,
Right,
correct.
right.
But my point is, I still go back to, they made a capital expenditure for the town without the vote of the townspeople. Sorry. And if they stood up at town meeting and said, we've got this much money, we want to buy a new cruiser for the town, do you think the town's gonna vote it down? No, they're gonna vote for it, obviously, and we're all pleased that they wanna use the money that way. Even I'm happy that they wanna use the money that way. I'm not happy that they already ordered it, it's already paid for, it's already been delivered, and well before town meeting. I don't like that.
But that same warrant gave the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from that fund.
No,
No,
no, the Board of Selectmen can't spend from that, only the
We
police
can
department.
approve the purchase of that vehicle.
The Board of Selectmen have no say over that thing. Go get your book,
I'm not
please.
gonna get that, I think, if it's there, if it's on John's.
Is that, is revolving fund in the statute? That is, isn't it?
Yes, it's right.
What is it? What's the number?
I don't know, my book's falling apart.
somebody was rough with it this week, huh?
Watch it.
I doubt that.
Mine's the old version.
You gotta go.
Wait a minute, I gotta write that down. Did you say that, Karen? I can put that in the minutes.
Revolving funds, page 32 and 42. I don't have that page.
What?
It's gone.
Somebody stole it.
Page 32, okay? Revolving funds,
35B2.
Aren't you glad you joined the budget committee?
Well, the yellow one is, the question
Did
mark.
he join it, or was he?
No, he volunteered for
We're
this,
gonna-
and I'm never gonna let him forget
Oh,
that.
my goodness.
Probably.
Am I
before
correct?
I'll get before I-
Yep,
Ah, yeah.
before the budget committee meeting.
35. What was that, 35 what, B?
Yeah.
35B2.
I'm sorry, you know, Ken, I
That's not right.
remember years ago, and Jeanette will remember, the police department wanted a new cruiser, and I'm sorry, I'm not picking on the police department, but that's the one that
You
did
wanna
it.
read this right here? This explains it all out.
Do you remember that, Jeanette? And it was on the warrant, and the town said, no, we can't afford it this year, and the town voted it down. And within 2 weeks, there was a brand new cruiser sitting out here. They already had it ordered, even though the town voted against it.
When was this?
That was years ago. Do you remember, Jeanette? Oh my God.
Did you find it?
The older people in town all
Have you got your
remember
book like
that.
that here?
Nobody ever
I'm
forgot.
missing my center pages.
Did you get news from fire? Is that fire?
No.
Who borrowed
I
your
used the
book?
Fosters for that.
Who borrowed your book? I'm just saying.
My other son.
They were pretty rough with it. I wouldn't let him borrow any more books. If he loses
If
pages.
you read that. I'm missing page 40 to 40. 39, 40, 41, 52, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What's it mean to grant concessions? This is the recreation.
Yes, that's all recreation, but you
Take
break it
charges,
down.
use of facilities. To contract with any municipal corporation, government, or private agencies for the conduct of park and recreational programs. See, it doesn't have anything that says. Just thinking back what Jack was saying about recreation. Sorry, I get sidetracked. But this is just for the recreation fund, this isn't anything.
No,
for the
but you
police
set your
department.
other funds up the exact same way. Turn the page.
3195. That's something different, 3195. 3995H.
Yes. Maybe expended for a specific purpose,
Doesn't have it
for which the
there.
fund was created.
Anybody have a copy of the warrant?
I do have a copy, but
They got changed.
they haven't been changed, I hope. Have they?
It's
Yes.
supposed to be
The
released.
one that was approved
Yeah.
on the police?
Oh, that one?
Back when,
That was 2 years ago in the book. You got books handy?
so 2 years ago?
Yes, in the closet. They go back 20 years.
Okay. Hold on.
In this closet right here, I don't have a key to it.
I don't either.
Oh,
See if it's
it's
locked?
locked?
Well,
So, can I see that? Yeah, H is in here.
I had that and
you
somebody
might be able
borrowed
to
my
find
book
some
and
more
I
on the
don't
back
have it.
page, Ken.
Oh,
I
the
don't
town
even ha-
report?
Yeah, I don't even have it in my
Okay.
big
Well,
file.
it wasn't last year, right?
Joe, the
No.
revolving fund doesn't
in
require
2010
cash.
or 2011.
Let me see if the closet's locked.
Anybody, they can do what they want with that.
So that's what I said, wasn't it?
It is.
But you said the selectmen.
It's locked.
The only one that has say over that is your treasurer. That fund,
So who did we designate in that revolving fund?
treasurer.
It says, no, the
Board of
treasurer's fund, the money in the fund accumulates from year to year, may be
Yep.
spent on order of the governing body or other board or body designated by the legislative body.
Right. And
So
they
who's that?
designated the treasurer.
No, you can't, the treasurer, you give order to the treasurer to
Okay.
make payment. That's a different function. The treasurer only signs the check. That's-
Oh, right.
So who gives the order would be, the governing body would be the selectmen,
Correct.
or a school board,
Correct.
or village district, or body designated by the legislative body. So if there was language in the warrant that said the police chief can give order, then the police chief can give order.
Right.
I doubt that happened.
No,
but-
No,
that's not how it
no,
was written.
it must have been the Board of Selectmen, I can't remember.
She just did.
You don't have any
tried
town
to do
reports
it?
in your office?
Yeah, it's not.
At the, no, I don't really.
Restrictions on types of items.
Yeah.
I
We
get,
got one night.
I get, this is 2011 in Wallace on this.
Was that the year that we did it?
on the
know,
budget
I'll
committee.
spend it.
Can't remember.
Jeff gave me an awesome flashlight for Christmas. It's about this big around and about that long. And he said, Mom, you're not gonna need another light to show these houses where I have to get down in the basement and there's no power on. Yeah, I know. And I love that light. And when I was looking at the paperwork that came with it, it said if you sent $350 for shipping and handling, went online and filled out their survey about the one you got, they'd send you a free one. Well,
This is
$350,
mine.
but almost free.
That's
But
about
see-
what mine looks like too.
Yeah,
Did you
see,
get it in
this
the
one
mail?
is good.
Yeah, you did.
Yep,
I had to have one on the airline too because
this is
people
pretty
would
good.
put bags under their feet,
Yep.
take the dog out of the carrier.
So yeah, the one that Jeff gave me is just like this, only bigger.
Adam's got a flashlight that's
How do I get
set,
one of these books?
you know.
What?
How do I
There's
get- how do I get
municipal
one of these?
resources.
You call, Municipal Association and ask for one?
No, they cost.
Yeah, I know, and they'll send it to you after you send them a check.
No, you could get it through the school, couldn't you, Ken?
Oh,
Can't you
yes.
order books?
Oh,
There's one in
this-
there I'd like to get, on the front, I can't
I'm
remember.
gonna
the
learn
name
this
of it.
thing, man. I'm gonna
We
take
went,
over
we
the world.
went to the conference on budget
Good
committee,
luck.
this is the first year.
I'm gonna get one of these, I'm gonna get
I
one of these
agree.
dingy books here. I'm gonna take over the world.
Wow. Ding dong.
I'm gonna figure it all out, man. You got me screwed, man.
They do have a lot of good articles in that, a lot of
They
good,
do,
yes.
Yeah, they do.
do good information.
Especially if
And
you
I
don't
like
have a
that Town and
computer.
Country too,
I do
that has
too.
a lot of good articles in there.
I'm
The
kinda
last
curious.
time I sat at a meeting and you were changing some of the figures, did you have another meeting after that to change some more numbers?
No, why? What are you missing?
Well, just looking at the warrant article and.
Oh, she
looking at
moved to off,
Figures that I took off of they're different.
excuse me?
In the warrant articles
No,
or the, oh,
no, the budget.
let me hold.
I took numbers off of this, which was at the last meeting we had.
Yes, and there were errors.
Okay.
And Laura and I worked together and corrected the errors.
Because the numbers in this are different than these.
Yeah, ignore that because they've been corrected.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, if you throw that one away, oh, you know what, maybe I didn't bring it.
You got a,
I was gonna give you a copy of mine, but I don't think I brought it.
have you got an electronic copy?
I do.
Email it to me.
Okay. Oh, never mind, I do have it. Excuse me.
That thing's still on?
Yep. Remind me to shut it off when I leave.
Yep.
Okay, single-sided to two-sided I can do, but I'll screw up.
Oh, I can do
Two-sided
either
to
way you want.
two-sided, no, I'll get it.
Oh.
2 to 2. Okey dokey.
Now, this one that I have is the correct one.
She's running off for me now.
Which one? What?
I ran
Yes.
it off.
Yes, yeah.
What's the definition of capital expenditure? So it's not pencils, right?
No,
Here's the equipment or something that in business world and appreciated.
So like firearms,
Yeah. Additions to
a
buildings.
burnisher, like a big piece of equipment, flooring,
right,
waxing,
Right.
things like that in school or.
Stuff that in the ordinary course of business, you don't deduct the full amount in 1 year, so, you know.
Trying to match the numbers up from that to the MS7, all these are a lot of them. Thank God for numbers.
if you get stuck and you don't know where the numbers came from, give me a call.
Oh, no,
Or
I-
shoot me an email.
As long as I can match up these.
Yeah, well, some of them
Some of them
are,
are split up.
right,
Yeah.
right, so.
It was
You
2010.
know what? There's something wrong with this.
Uh-oh. Oh,
No,
yes.
I don't know, I haven't seen
I
that.
emailed, you mean the
warrant article?
budget committee?
Yes, there's
Yeah, I-
2 3-year terms and 1 1-year.
I know, I emailed Laura about that, so I hope she's corrected it.
Wait a minute. I don't know what it mentions, I can't read it. All right.
Oh, you found it?
Found it in the selectmen's office. Laura's moved her room around so much in there.
Yeah, that's it.
You know those papers we signed Thursday for the bank? They haven't gone out. Laura must not have put the mailbox out in the hall like she usually does.
You want to read that to us?
Yeah.
Or just let us sit here and watch you read?
We can do that too.
Follow his eyes.
You ready?
Ready.
Already.
Okay.
Can you turn it up a little bit? I'm deaf.
Oh, you can't read lips?
No.
You'd be in trouble if we could.
To see if the town will vote to establish a police special detail revolving fund pursuant to RSA 3195H, which isn't in yet, for the purpose of paying for the cost of providing police special details. All revenues received for police special details will be deposited into the fund, and the money in the fund shall be allowed to accumulate from year to year, and shall not be considered part of the town's general fund unreserved fund balance. The town treasurer shall have custody of all monies in the fund, and shall pay out the same only upon order of the Board of Selectmen, and no further approval is required by the legislative body to
That's what I
expend.
was saying.
The funds may be expended only for costs related to police details in providing the service, including the purchase, repair, maintenance, and replacement of equipment and vehicles necessary, and payment of personnel providing the service. No expenditure shall be made in such a way as to require the expenditure of other town funds which have not been appropriated for that purpose.
Read that last one again, please.
No expenditure shall be made in such a way as to require the expenditure of other town funds which have not been appropriated for that purpose.
There you go. I didn't even know that line was in there, but there you go, right there. Because it's going to take other town funds to maintain that vehicle.
Okay, I don't know, just.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
So that's exactly what Sandy said,
Right,
that
and,
it has to be maintained.
right,
If
right.
If you're gonna do police, what it started saying is, what I'm hearing it say is that, let's say they had to purchase some special protection thing, because they're out in the middle of Middleton, four corners here, some
Yeah,
personnel
right.
barrier.
Right,
And to
one of those
maintain-
signs that
maintain-
says
and
police
maintain
ahead
that
and
barrier,
flashes or
so-
something, right,
The police detail, because they pay to do police details, would pay for that.
right.
And they'd have to maintain that police personnel barrier.
Right.
Just making something of that widget, they'd have to
Yep.
maintain it from
Yep.
there on. And the town would not be paying
Right.
any money toward maintaining that
Right.
police barrier, because it's used for
Exactly.
police special
The other
police
thing,
special details.
the other thing is,
So the cruiser
if the town,
should be used for police
Detail.
special details.
Right,
Should
but-
be used for anything else.
I know, but the other thing is, suppose the town had authorized a new cruiser, and they want to retire one of the older ones.
Yeah.
The one that they want to retire, they give the selectmen a token $200, okay? And they buy the old one and it's used just for detail, and that's fine. And then they maintain it, they pay all the costs associated with it, and it's a detail vehicle. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with any of this, and I'm telling you, if you stand up at town meeting and say, we made a little boo-boo, we thought that we could order this, and so we did. The police department wants to buy a new cruiser for the town, and we thought we could do it that way. We really should have gotten your approval first. You're gonna gain points instead of losing. I'm just saying.
Oh, you guys didn't approve the purchase of the vehicle?
They
We
did.
Oh,
You did nothing wrong.
Well, according
They
to the
raised
last
the money,
line.
they raised the money, the $30-some-odd-thousand.
Yeah.
They came to us, we want to order a new cruiser, we approved it.
Right.
Okay,
Done.
but, okay.
And that part
yeah.
was fine,
And
but
So I apologize for nothing.
they don't
When
own
was
it
Jim Brown
for
tell
the
us when he
detail.
was here that
What's
the
that?
town would be getting
It's
money?
not for detail.
Well, it has to be for the detail, because that's what it's for.
And it-
That's not what they bought it for.
What they buy it for.
They're replacing a detailed vehicle.
No, they're replacing one of their cruisers.
The-
I'm telling you, that car is gonna
Well,
be
we're gonna
used.
go, we're gonna go semantics.
Yeah.
They have one that's got 100 and some odd thousand miles on it,
Either way.
and they're going to replace it.
So what it, bottom line is, I'm not gonna get into.
Bottom line
micromanagement,
is,
that they bought the cruiser, what they're buying from the revolving fund is for police special details. It needs to be maintained and repaired and all that
the other
with the
stuff.
revolving fund to
Out of that-
sustain that
out of
piece of
that fund.
equipment, because technically speaking, they're using it and they're gonna get more money
Money
from
for the
police
detail
details.
fund, correct.
And it's gonna
Right.
be revolving and taking all, it's gonna
Right.
run, it's gonna be self-funding all on its own. Whatever they
Exactly.
buy is gonna be
Right.
self-funding.
Right. And in that way, it's not gonna cost the town anything. But
That's
according
the
to the
purpose
last
of it.
line of that, it can't.
right,
Right.
it cost the town.
Right.
But I think when we sat here with Tim Brown and Jason
Lamontagne.
Lamontagne,
Yeah.
they sat over there and they explained that they wanted to start the revolving fund. This was in front of the budget committee. And we asked what the town would get out of it, because we were getting like $10 or $15 an hour for our cruiser. Out of, say they were getting $45 an hour for everything back then, 2 or 3 years ago. They said that the money after their retirement and their paycheck, that money would come back to the town. So that we would get paid for 1 or 2 cruises that were out on these roads, $10 to $12 or $15 an hour.
Yeah, I think it
And we
was
never got
actually, I think it was $10.39 per hour.
For each
Okay.
cruiser that they had.
And so they were taking the officer's pay, all of the benefits, the
Right, but
retirement and everything
But now
else,
that cruiser is gone.
$10.39 to the town,
Right.
and the rest of it would go to their revolving fund. Unfortunately, they've never paid the town for the use of the cruiser.
And the way the article was
Have
written
they-
up,
Does the town get anything out of the,
I don't
out of
know.
the special?
no, they don't,
No,
I don't
no.
know the details.
Their pay comes out and, you know, the retirement and all that goes with it, and the rest goes all in the revolving
So-
fund.
You can backpedal and trace out all that before, but if the vehicle's purchased with revolving fund money, there would be no payment to the town for 1039.
right, but for the last
Right, for that one.
11, 12, and 13, the town received no money for the 3 years that they've used the revolving
And
fund.
they were using town,
They use the cruiser.
Vehicles.
You're right, and they do
Correct.
not reimburse the
I don't know
town
what
for
to
the
deal
use
with
of
it, then.
cruisers,
You
yeah,
so.
they
have to
must have.
claw back and-
well, they
Right,
had
well,
to.
this is what we've
Correct.
been trying to figure out.
I think they said they were going to use the oldest vehicle, that had the most mileage on it, because all it has to do when it's a detail is the car sits there with the blue lights flashing,
Right,
and it doesn't have to do anything else.
Right.
Get a generator.
That's what I was told.
I remember that.
So,
I specifically asked.
So is this the first time
So
you make an
see,
expenditure out of the revolving fund?
no, they have bought equipment before. I remember they bought a light bar for one of the
I don't remember that
vehicles,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Those are the other town meetings I wasn't involved in. once they
Right.
said so.
yeah. I'm putting Joe on the spot.
No,
No, I mean, I can't
before-
speak, I
no,
mean,
before
before
Joe.
Joe.
He
Yeah,
did say,
right.
that was before Joe,
So
before
this-
Joe.
so the
Were
one-
you-
so-
BJ, right.
So since
were you
it-
here when
since
this
20
was done?
He wasn't one of the selectmen when that was
No, but
started.
we-
As a citizen, I was probably at the meeting and stuff like that,
We've been
yes.
every
So
meeting.
we've been to every meeting, but,
Right,
you know, I can't,
yeah.
Okay.
50
So,
some kids.
so
Can't
since
keep it all in your
2010,
head, you know.
this has been building up and it's built up to what?
It was over
30
36, I think, 35, 36.
35, 36,000.
So, but they've been out of that fund, the expenditures out of the fund so far as a light bar, the cruiser. and-
Well, I don't know what
No,
else,
they've
you'd
been-
have to ask
they've
them.
been- They've been doing
because-
maintenance as well, oil changes, tires.
See,
Stuff
because
like
we
that.
have no, we have no control over that fund, I don't know how that's been expended.
They
They pay their own retirement on that money earned?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Well,
Does the town
I'm
have
gonna
to
tell you,
pay a
it-
portion?
I can say that now with certainty, yes, because it's in the books and,
Right.
and stuff as being done,
Right.
as you can see in the budget, that were prints off, okay?
Right.
Prior to that, we didn't know where it was because those line items had a dollar in it, and the expenditures, that were going out were not being updated as it should have been.
Yeah, it wasn't recorded the way it
Okay,
should have been.
so
for a
since
while.
MRI and Lori got into it, stuff like that, it's now up to
Yeah,
date
because
and
we
we
never
see where it
knew.
is.
Right,
How
right.
much
It's
going
like-
in or coming
I
out.
think what was happening, all that money being put into the general account and taken out of the general account, not accounted for the proper
Right,
way.
right.
But they've gone back to way back and they've brought it to this point, yes,
Yes,
to where it's accurate.
yes.
I think that's why you find that our couple previous ago, secretaries got through because she didn't know what she was doing.
In a sense, I mean, what I read there is, it's a separate fund. altogether.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's, if they can't make it, if it doesn't sustain itself, it's gonna go bankrupt.
Right.
Oh, it will. It'll sustain itself.
Oh, yeah.
That
It's
back
too
in the
bad.
office.
Because they're charging $75 an hour,
Yes.
It's too bad
and they're paying the officer 45, so, or is it 40 or 45? 45.
45.
See, it's
45,
all
so.
around equipment. And I'm struggling with as far as the recreation committee. It's all around equipment, it's not about expendables, foods and.
Right.
Right, but if you read in there, the one you started to read, you said it was recreation. You start a recreation fund, you can spend, you can add, you can take out.
No, you can't, it's only for equipment and stuff, that's it.
No.
And you can contract out.
Well, maybe it's on the pages that aren't in there.
No, the recreation committee, this is what Jack said. The recreation committee, it's kind of more of a higher governmental thing, recreation department, where you can go out and hire, Smith, or Uncle Chester's Chicken or whatever, and they come in and they run a concession, and the recreation department can pay that person to do this service. It's contractual, it's not the recreation department engaging in the actual work.
Well, there's
That's what I-
something in there that they
But it
can
also
have
can
their
buy
own
equipment, so
account.
if you wanted to buy, a big giant, fried dough maker or something like that, you could buy the equipment.
All right.
I think it
Right.
even includes real estate, doesn't it?
Yes, in
Yes.
property and all
Yes.
that, so, but it's not meant to function as an operating
Right.
Right.
Okay.
budget type thing
Right.
and that's the key here.
Oh, I see what you
With
mean.
the recreation
Okay.
department, it's the revolving fund's not intended to be an operational budget.
Oh,
It's intended
gotcha.
to be, more contractual and just higher level, more like a city, if you think of Rochester
Okay.
Recreation Department.
Right,
Right,
No, they have
That's
the
how-
pool,
that's how
they
I
have all
read
the
it.
swimming pools, all the kind of stuff.
right.
right.
No, but-
Parks and
Right.
Recreation.
But it's
right?
separate from
And they own it.
a budget line that deals with the
But
operation,
So like
right?
Uncle Chester's Chicken comes in and the recreation department contracts by concession, so that contractor pays a stipend to the recreational department.
Right.
So there's a revenue source.
Right.
But Uncle Chester does the chicken selling and he makes money based upon what he paid for a fee, so he does his concessions. So the town is really insulated from a liability standpoint.
Gotcha.
So they get the fee, then as time goes on, they say, hey, you know what? Let's buy some new playground equipment or this new widget or whatever. But then that revolving fund has to maintain that widget
Right.
presumably,
Okay.
by means of contracting out a company to maintain it or a vendor. That's what I'm getting out of it. But we're a small community, we're looking at is, okay, how can we do an operational budget? How can we go out and buy, 200 pounds of hamburger, a bunch of rolls and, all that stuff, and actually get into the weeds on it. That's, because the volunteerism effort is there. It's almost like we're being,
I know.
scrutinized for the volunteerism.
I'd
And
almost
that's
rather
where I
see.
just come back to and say, just if you think you're gonna spend 10 grand for the entire year on recreational stuff, and you feel you're gonna get that same revenue back in and more, then it just goes into the general fund.
I'd
We all
rather
stand
see
up.
the town set up a recreation committee, appoint a recreation director, and give them, what do we give them now,
5,000?
3,000? I'd give
No,
them
that's just the
5,000
that's
and
just the children's parties.
And then if
That's
there's a
up.
revenue coming in, any one of us,
Every
especially
year.
the budget
Right,
committee, can stand up
right.
and say, or the selectmen can say, these are the revenues we've received
Exactly.
going into the general fund. And then we can get in that big long discussion again, what's the general fund?
I know, but that's like I told John Malone the other day, I said, you should actually make it known, because not everybody reads the budget lines.
Mhm.
And I said, when it comes down to your budget, you should make it known how much your department brought into the town.
Well, if he
Because
needs to.
there are few departments that actually make money for the town, and his is one of them. You know?
And the town clerk,
Mm,
you can pound it,
right.
big time. But if you have to, you know, you don't, you bring it up.
Well, you've got it all figured out, right? It's a goal,
No, I took the word off, right?
so how are you doing it?
Jack's he's looking into it and he's gonna figure it out for us.
But wouldn't it make more sense to just have a recreation department
Why
in
don't you-
town?
why don't you
And then
sever-
you'd
We're not big
get
enough.
more money,
No, we're not big enough.
huh?
I'm not big enough to have an department. A department of what? The school properties that we use, you know, we don't have,
You charged them, right? No.
no, I'm just
Well,
saying, I
here's,
mean,
here's the reality, if the school goes through, this all goes away.
I know.
It all goes away, because in school accounting,
you have to have a
there's
department.
accommodations to this stuff.
Right,
And
right.
it's just, it's a no-brainer. And then, you know, there's, you can set up student activity funds and all that. It's just,
Now, at
it's
town
actually,
meeting,
it's actually a lot easier that way.
Town meeting, there's gonna be nothing talked about the recreation committee.
at town meeting, if we wanted to start a recreation department, can we put monies in?
No,
No, not now.
But we can't up it, but we can down it, right?
it has to be something in the budget for it.
You'd have, there is for, yeah,
Other culturals?
other culture and recreation.
So we could up that.
We could.
Who's the, you know, Julie, I still joke around. Some guy one year said, "What about Middleton recreation, man?" It's just what he said. I'll never forget. I thought he was like stoned out of his mind or something.
That was Joe.
Was it? No, it was before Joe.
No, I was
What about
reading,
Middleton
Yeah, man.
recreation, man?
I was reading books.
You're like,
Joe
what's
said he
this
was
guy-
at every
what's this guy
meeting, so,
talking about?
yeah, that was
I
Joe.
could check in.
Julie
I
says
like
that. Every once in a while, Julie says, "What about Middleton recreation, man?"
You read, now those books you read, the old books in the 80s, did you read all the pages from the front too? Or just the school stuff?
I just read the school stuff. Thank
You guys forget this is all being recorded. Maybe a
Oh.
date.
Well, there was quite a letter in there from Darlene
Why are we
Cremens when she
videotaping
was
the budget committee
Middleton.
meeting?
They want,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I've been active, I bought a disc for town, one for the school, the 64 megabytes, so we can, everything, we're gonna do planning board, zoning board stuff, anything and everything, just to put up, let's say, so people have a right to know, so.
So Parks and Recreation, 3,000,
And other cultures.
patriotic purposes,
Okay,
and then other culture and recreation.
Right, other culture and recreation.
Parks
Put
and-
500 in there to keep it open.
the parks thing goes, that money goes down to, for the lake access thing,
Yeah, that doesn't
For that.
come to.
it didn't come to anything that we do. That's basically for Joe's.
The what?
beach.
What?
For the beach down here.
Oh,
Joe's
beach,
Beach?
yeah.
Yes,
John's
Parks,
Beach.
Parks and Recreation.
I thought that
What's
was
Jones
something.
Beach, the one on 153?
yes,
What's the name of it?
That's
John's
town or?
Beach.
that's town.
John's Beach, okay. I always call it Scumwise.
Why is it so much? 35.
Well, they pay the guy and,
No. What?
Parks and Recreation says $3,500 for Jones Beach.
No.
No, that's all
There's
combined
2,000, there was 2,000 for the children's parties,
25.
we'll
And
ask
this
him
year
for
it's
25.
Oh, we're asked,
25.
right, okay.
and $1,000 for the beach.
But he didn't get 1,000.
But then it says other culture and recreation.
And that's
$500.
$500, that's supposed to be, when they were doing the family fun day, they decided
Right.
not to do it, so they just donated $500 to be able to get the bounce house,
Right.
the
And that's where
porta
they had to put
potty,
that line.
and the wildlife creature guy there.
So if we want to,
The preach guy.
we
We
want
had
to
that on
do
our
more,
barbecue day.
what
Oh, I
I'm
wasn't
hearing
here, I was in
is, going
Michigan.
back on Parks and Recreation, 1,000 is for John's Beach,
Yep,
and the other 2,500 is for what?
Children's parties.
That's
I
the
was
Halloween
missing
party and the
Christmas.
Christmas party specifically.
And that's all we can use it for.
yep, that's always been
Why is it
specific.
all you can use it for?
That's
That's the
always
way it
been
was.
specific.
The way.
It's always been.
Is it written somewhere or?
It is, would you like to see the line that comes from?
says Christmas and Halloween.
Christmas and Halloween.
Right.
Terry Laffey tried one year to do the Easter. I think it was just my kids that showed up and her kid.
See, we're not doing Easter, we're gonna do a spring, like we did last year, spring planting. And an egg hunt,
Yep.
but we do it after Easter because I go to Walmart and buy the eggs really cheap on
Right.
clearance.
It's thrifty.
So
Not bad.
if we wanted to increase the regular children's parties, we'd want to go on other culture and recreation.
No.
No, if you wanna have a rec committee, you would increase. What's in there now,
What's-
500?
Budget, yeah.
What's other culture and recreation?
That was a
That
line they
was the
stuck
line
in
that
2
we
years
could
ago.
use for recreation department,
Okay.
because it was sort of just
It
to
was-
get them going. So they'd
Well,
have
it
some
was- I thought it was
funding money.
Set up for the
Because the way it's
Family
written, it
Family
says-
Fun Day, it was like a start to Family Fun Day, and then we kind of booked up their schedule last year, so
Yeah, well, it was,
they decided.
I thought it was a start
It's a
to
very generic way,
whatever,
it doesn't say culture and recreation, it says other culture and
but,
recreation.
yeah, besides the beach and the
Parks and
children's
recreation.
parties.
Right.
And patriotic. Those are separate lines. Do you want to see the line items?
So if you guys want to celebrate Kwanzaa, just give a
I know.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
Fourth of
the kids.
July.
To the other.
They'd have to do it out of the other, they couldn't do it out of.
Right, you have to do it on other.
But that's why I'm saying, wrap the whole thing into one and you could still, it's still
Me-
line
to me-
specific for
I look at
the children's
this, and
parties.
to me, I would go parks, period. That would take care of John's Beach. What expenditures are there at John's Beach?
The guy cleans up, goes
Right,
down with his problems.
They rent a
Porta
porta potty.
Yep,
so that's parks.
yes.
That's typical park stuff.
Right.
There's no recreation that goes on down there, unless cleaning up is recreation.
Could be for him.
We're cleaning the potty.
You know what? Do you want to see the lines?
Sure. I'll
We
just
have
look at this.
park maintenance, which we keep open $1 for the.
Yeah.
Okay. We have beach maintenance, children's parties, patriotic, and other culture and recreation.
Right, so what I'm getting at is the way the lines are, because you have recreation in two different lines is what I'm getting at here. To me, like,
Oh,
what
okay,
you're
all right,
saying is
yep.
you group them together, but I would keep
Right.
parks separate because it's more of a maintenance,
Oh, yeah, that's,
utility type thing.
Right, I get that.
that is
And then-
specific to that MS7
Right,
category.
right, that's, the
The way
MS7
they
tells us what
correct it.
line to take it off from.
Right, but again, the accounting is 4520 to 4529, there's 10 line items within
Correct.
that, when we're picking up parks and recreation. So when you go into the account codes, 421 to 429, there's usually a listing right next to it.
Yeah, whoops. Hello.
So it should
I'm on
say,
the wrong page
it should
again.
say on ours, which specific ones they are.
45, 20, 01, 03, and 05.
Okay, what's 01?
01 is park maintenance.
Yep,
03 is beach maintenance.
yep,
And 05 is children's parties.
okay. So what's 4589?
Other culture and recreation.
Okay,
And 458301 is patriotic. That's why
Can I have your book?
the lines are right there.
okay.
Oh, that's gonna tell me crap is up.
It gets confusing
So to me,
sometimes,
And this is what I commented before in previous town meetings, is I would take the 4520 to 4525 parks, is how I would list it, unless you're mandated to do this range in the MS-20.
That's printed that's printed on the MS,
That's
on
how
the
it has to
MS7.
be.
Yeah, we have.
We don't print that in, that's there.
They just want the condensed version of our budget.
Right,
basically.
Right.
We have to lump things
And
together that
they
aren't
tell
lumped
us
together
where to lump them.
in our budget.
Right. That's just like,
Makes it confusing.
the one that's confusing to everybody always trying to figure out where we got the numbers is,
And I think the recommendation
Personnel
we made,
administration?
instead of putting
Yes,
MS7
that's
in
also
the town book,
different
to give a look
lines.
at, use this one here instead. That's what John was getting to, make it, so everybody's looking at the same exact
Well,
information.
we always do.
I know, but the MS7 people will refer to that one at town.
That's what we.
I know, but we have to print the MS7, that's the law.
I'm not saying not to print it. It doesn't have to be printed in the book that we hand out for town hall.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes,
it
yes,
does, because it
Absolutely.
has to be posted with the budget.
Then
It
when we're
has to
talking
be
about the
printed in
numbers,
the
we should
book.
keep everybody on one number, on one page of what's going on. This should be in there as well.
It is.
It is in
Okay,
there.
and when we're talking numbers, talk about one of them, don't go back and forth, because you're losing people.
Right.
I know when we're like that, we're flipping back,
I know,
like that,
but-
looking, where the heck, where are you?
I know, but
This
we
is-
can't help it.
Okay,
But what I'm getting at is when it actually, even though if this says the way it says it, don't put any recreation party money in 4520 to 4529. Even though it says Parks and Recreation, the easy answer to everybody is, oh, that's for beach maintenance and park maintenance. Then you put all your recreation, parties, other, whatever it may be, in 4589. That way, that's a nice, easy way for everybody to remember. Don't put the money in.
I see,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
know what you're saying.
So you're in 45, so it says
that book away already?
beach maintenance, children's parties.
You did, didn't you?
So this children parties, the $2,000 there, let that line go zero. You take the 2,000 out of there, and then you take and put it down on 4589 under other culture and recreation.
Then it's not specific for children's parties, and that's why that line is in there. Because that's always been
So you want to, you definitely,
Specific.
what you're saying is,
for the
budget-
2,000 for children's parties.
the budget committee is mandating that you have a children's party.
Mhm.
That's what it's saying.
two of them.
We're just doing what we've been,
I think that's
yeah, I
the
mean, that's
way
what the
it was
people
set
have
up
always said, yeah.
at the town meeting, is
Right,
what they wanted to
right.
see.
That's
So-
what the people want.
And what I was hoping I was gonna hear, someone's gonna say, past practice, nobody dared say that though, right?
Nope,
Okay. Because this is what we get hung up on
I know.
in the school
I
board and
know.
stuff. That's the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Middleton.
I'm just, again, if you wanna make it so you're defining rigidity, it makes it very hard. So, if you know, what happens if you can't do the parties, you don't have the people to do the Halloween, the Christmas party, because no one's around. So now you get that pool of money, now you can't use it. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, you dropped the ball, the Baileys were sick, you know, Joe got pneumonia, he's walking around with a purple mask, he's walking around with a pink
Yellow.
polka dot mask. And then next spring rolls around, people say, well, you know what, they're still walking around with masks. Sandy and Ken Gary are gonna get together and we'd like to do this stuff, but oh wait,
Can't now,
we
party's
can't
over.
now because the parties are over. The $2,000 stays up there, so now you go to the selectmen, do a fund transfer to put the money into other culture and recreation.
Now,
Right.
on
So you could
children's-
spend that
yeah.
money and have a chase after Tammy's cheap Easter eggs after Easter or something.
Right.
Hey,
Now,
children's
children's
Just-
parties, are those specifically Christmas and Halloween?
Yes.
That's what the
That's what we've
town
been told.
said,
That's
that's
what
what
it's
they
always
said at
been.
town meeting, yeah.
I got some books back in 1980 something, you wanna borrow them?
I'm
And you
not-
can go
Oh,
through
oh,
them?
there you go, Ken, that's what it
Go through
always
what?
used to be.
No, this is,
Gonna say the same.
see, if
No,
you
it's
can,
what was said at town meeting.
even when I moved here,
Right, no,
That's
so
how
what?
it was.
Yeah, whatever, so what? They used to.
we can change the wording,
they
yeah,
used-
but
I'm
I'll
not
vote
saying
against
change-
it.
no, I'm not saying change the wording, I'm just saying, we're locking ourselves down. So when something goes wrong, you don't have a way out. Why do we want to do that? We all have the same intent, right? To have children's parties?
Okay,
It's ours.
yes,
Right,
That's,
yes.
I'm not saying don't have a Christmas party and don't have a Halloween, because those are usually the two biggest ones, and
Yes.
it makes sense. So, I'm not sure why everybody's hung up on, well, just,
All right,
it's Christmas.
Joe, wait a minute, Ken.
It's
Joe and
Christmas.
Tammy, Joe gets a job and they're gonna move to Florida. Okay, so where's that leave the rec committee? These are the
We
two
have,
head people.
no, we
You
have.
have Linda Adamo,
No,
now
we
let me
have a
finish,
shit-
please. Anytime that we've run into a mess,
Yeah.
when Terry Laffey got through being the children's party, my daughter, Laura, and Randy, and it was Laura.
Everybody steps up.
Everybody steps up. If we need something for that party, you call 2 days before, you're gonna have one hell of a party going. You leave it in children's parties, that way if something happens, it's there. Somebody will take that
So-
over.
If it's not, if the money was in 4589, that $2,000, then that couldn't happen. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it could happen or not.
Why wouldn't it? Why
I
couldn't
don't know.
it? That's my point. So what I'm getting at is you just made it very flexible, so anything can happen. What I'm saying is, let's loosen the choker off the neck of children's parties. That's what I'm trying to get at. We're choking it, we're like pulling the choker.
I don't see why.
I don't either.
So
As
all
long
that-
as
so what I'm
that much
saying is
money
that
is specified for the parties, they'll always be able to have them.
we-
If
why-
in fact
why-
you move
why
that.
would- If you move it, why
Wait a
wouldn't it
minute,
be?
if you move it,
Yeah.
and somebody else takes over as chairman of the recreation committee,
Yeah,
and they want a 4th of July party,
yeah,
and they spend
all of it.
all of it.
Yeah.
Then what do you do for the children's parties at Christmas and?
Thank you.
Then,
I didn't know how to
then you
explain
would,
it.
then there would be insurrection, because everybody would go to the Board of Selectmen who gave order to expend that money, and there'd be an insurrection.
I know, but that's why the line was always specific to the children's parties, so that there would be that much money there for those two.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, did that happen? Did
You know-
somebody have a panic attack over this? Did it happen, or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, we're all adults, we're capable of making adult decisions, so unless the selectmen are, you know, you all right?
Come on. I've never been on.
So that, again, I'm just trying to, because me, just looking at this objectively, just like any new person coming into town,
But we have actually had people at the town meeting want to do away with the children's party line.
Yeah.
Well, that's too much
That's
money.
the problem.
What the heck have we got in this town for the kids?
so
2
then,
parties
that,
a year.
so that just adds to my point. Because once you have another cultural recreation, you can always have that party.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you're actually, so then
Yeah,
it
but you
becomes,
could always spend it on other things too, and not save it for the parties. I'm
you
sorry.
can always spend it on culture and recreation. That's exactly correct. That's all I'm getting at. And what I'm getting at is that, I'm not saying the 2,500, what I'm getting at is that there's a lot more activity going on. This is my ultimate point, is it really just puts a pot of money there, and because there's a lot going on in recreation.
Right.
So you can get a line in there. The selectmen have to manage it, and they have to dictate,
Right.
you know, the parties, and presumably a budget can be established, and you know that, yep, because as we just all discussed, everybody at this table says, yep, there's 2,000 for the children's parties, and then we have 4,000 for
Right. Right.
all of it, and it all goes under one line, and when someone needs an explanation, yep, we usually put 2,000, we have a Halloween party, we have a Christmas party, and then we do a 4th of July party, and we do the cheap Walmart eggs after Easter party. And you just lump it all up into one. Is it too much or too little? What do you want to do?
Right.
I guess what it does is it just creates unneeded conversation at the meeting. Because people look at this and they're like, Parks and Recreation? Well, you know what? Well, yeah, that's for the Christmas parties. Get rid of it. You already got other culture and recreation, Sandy. This is what I'm getting at. It just makes it complicated.
Okay, Joe, comment.
He does have a point, and so do you. I think one of the things that it hinges on is being assured that the selectmen will preserve the Christmas and the
Right.
Halloween parties.
Right.
That being said, I've noticed that at the Christmas and the Halloween parties, there are items left over, and you can't always plan on the weather cooperating so that a large crowd shows up. It's, you know, lots of variables in there. And if you could assure that the selectmen would preserve the Christmas and Halloween parties, it does make sense to put that in there. That way, if you have a year when you get a bargain and you don't need to spend $2,000 on the Christmas party, that does leave you 500 or whatever for fireworks for 4th of July or something. It does give you more flexibility in spending the amount of money that you do have. So there is that argument as well.
Or if you get
But
rained
you're
out,
right.
you get rained out in Halloween, then Joe can go out and get a pilgrim outfit and wear it and have a Thanksgiving party or something.
The harvest dinner.
Yeah.
But then the fire department will get mad because then you're gonna take over their fundraising.
Actually, we work pretty good with those guys.
Again, I think it hinges on finding some way to assure everyone that's concerned that the selectmen or a reasonable, you know. head
Myself,
will-
I'm gonna tell you the sense I get out of all this. He's frustrated, she's frustrated, Linda now is frustrated, others are frustrated because of the finances, the way it's set up. And this is the ultimate reason why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I said, you know, if it's one department and we can increase the budget line,
But you don't have a department.
I know,
So we're in the chicken and the egg syndrome.
I know.
What's the difference between a department and a committee?
You just read it on the boat.
Plain English.
We're in a chicken and the egg syndrome right now. This is why we're going round and round on this. I'm trying to give everybody a way out of the discussion. And that's my recommendation. If you make a funding mechanism that is simplistic and provides options like Joanne just provided, you are gonna tend to get more people
Right.
involved.
Right.
By struggling over and making rigidity in the finances,
Exactly.
it's creating frustration.
Right.
Then you come back and say, well, get a committee and get a chair. Well, nobody wants to do it because the finance, do you seeing a little pattern here?
Yes, I see what you mean.
And what's the end result? What's happening?
Everybody's
do
frustrated.
anything.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
No, I'm waiting for the answer. Give me the right answer. I want the right answer. What is happening? What's the end result out of all this?
We're gonna be checked on this later, you know.
Really?
I've written
This is
yes.
your best? Oh.
Yes.
I'm expecting the answer mostly from you and you.
They're
What's the
gonna
end
do
result?
away with it.
The end result is we're gonna end up leaving. Not doing it.
Exactly, they're gonna.
I'm gonna step back from it because
Keep
what
going,
you said,
keep going,
Burnt
It's
out.
gonna fail.
keep going.
how far, I mean, if it
Won't
fails,
be
it
anything
fails.
for the kids.
What's the next thing? After that, after you quit?
No parties.
It's
For
gonna
who?
miss out.
But the kids,
Kids.
Thank you,
Right.
that's it.
And I will
Well, we
say, yes, there
But you
will
know,
be parties for the
There will,
kids
because
can.
somebody
Right
will
there.
always step up.
Somebody
That's
will
right.
always step
And
up.
there's something.
And that's the
case,
problem,
I have no
someone will
problem with the way
always
those-
step up,
Right.
and this is why we keep
Right.
Terry.
And there's a,
And you know something?
Step up.
now my biggest issue with this
So
whole
there's
thing is,
inconsistency, lack of consistency, different people, if that's the way you want to keep it, that's the way it's continuing to function.
Can I just say one
Now,
thing?
is that camera heading towards Ken with that statement he just did?
I know.
I hope so, I wanna
It's
see it.
always gonna be in flux, it's just not gonna, you're not gonna get stability.
We
Right.
wanna be
Can I
here to
say-
stay.
I know, but can I say something? I think it's admirable that you guys work so hard. I really do. And I think it's great that you want, no, there's no but, that you want to earn money by having fundraisers to be able to do more.
To offset the cost.
Right.
exactly.
I do.
Now, I have a question.
I think it's great, but I don't know how to fund it. I don't know that much about, that's why my suggestion was to make it a department in town and give you a line so that you've got money enough to spend.
Right.
And then if you've got 5,000 and you only spend 3, and you make 4, you can tell the town, you know, we didn't even use all of our budget, but we brought in X amount.
But that's already, Marcia, that's already occurred. That funding has already occurred. And that's been proven.
I know, but I don't think their line is big enough to do what they want to be able to do.
No,
Bingo.
it's not.
That's
That's
what
why I
I'm
just
saying.
asked,
If it's
Can
a
we-
department,
bring it up
increase
And
it.
that's how I started my
at,
conversation.
at town meeting.
Absolutely.
We can add money.
Okay.
But that's my point.
Honestly,
Can I ask a question of you two? How much do you have to put out up front in order to get some of the things that you
Up
need?
to $1,000.
that you do it
If we
yourself.
if we do the Halloween party, we
Right,
have to spend up to $1,000 out of our pocket and get reimbursed afterwards. And there's a point like that, it took weeks to get reimbursed, and we're at the point right now, I'm not doing it anymore. So
right,
if
you
I-
can't.
that's
We
my
can't.
point.
So-
You shouldn't
It
have
should
to
be
do
funded.
that.
I didn't mind, and I'm not saying, I didn't mind,
Good
I
night.
don't mind doing it, but obviously my job has changed.
No,
and
I know you
and I just
don't,
don't, I'm not
but
gonna
that's
do
not
it,
the
so.
point.
Exactly,
You
that's what
shouldn't
I'm,
have to do that. You should
But
be
now
able
we
to
have, now we
submit
have a
a
credit card,
requisite.
right or wrong, we have a credit card
I don't know, do we?
profile.
I don't know if it showed up or not, I don't know if we have one.
It's
Do
got,
we?
Laura has it, yes,
I
and
know,
Laura's
but-
name is on it.
Okay, but see, last time we talked about, was like 6 weeks ago, that we're gonna do this, and I didn't know it come in. I had no knowledge of that.
As soon as I went down and signed the paperwork,
Did you tell me about it? No. Did
I
Laura tell
haven't
me about
made
it? No. I don't know this credit card there.
that's true, that's very true.
Honestly,
I know
just-
now.
I get frustrated because I don't understand a lot of this budget stuff. I just wanna have money to do stuff for the kids, to have fun. That's all I want. All this mumbo jumbo of committees and.
See, you
No,
know what?
I know, and I
You
was
should
thinking,
be like anything else in town, you should be able to submit a purchase order and get the check, so that you don't have to put upfront money. That's not fair.
Right.
That's
That,
not
that
fair.
hurts after a while, I went through.
Nobody in town should have to do that.
But sometimes, like with the eggs, I go and I get them.
Right.
I use our money to get them because it's a good deal.
Right.
If you see that good deal and you know you're gonna
Right.
actually use that,
Yeah.
I can't wait a week to get a purchase order,
Because that's gone.
because then
Right.
it's gone.
But are you
So
doing,
then I'm
are
gonna
they
pay
using
twice.
purchase orders?
no, we're not using purchase orders.
No,
See?
no, we're buying, we're taking money out of our pocket and buying
Right.
it and then getting it reimbursed. But it's just
So,
like, it's
and
just
they'll-
a headache, I just wanna have fun, you know? I don't
What happens
understand the
when you go,
budget thing.
and I know what you're saying, Marcia, typically business
Right.
theme
I
is
know, I know.
purchase orders.
But I
the
can
problem
see
is
why
these kind
they need,
These kinds of
they need
commodities.
cash in their hands so that they can buy things when they need to buy them.
No, it's really these types of commodities are the type of commodities that are either twice or 3 times as much if you go to a party place.
Oh,
When
I
you-
know
when you go-
that.
When you do
Right.
POs,
I know.
now you have to go to a party place and order online and the fixed price. When you take, and like I like the credit card idea,
Right.
but if you have a credit card available and you can go out and shop, now you can get the deal.
Right.
You bet.
Exactly.
So, because that's the problem with PO, and I've seen this.
No,
in
that's
my-
what I mean, you know, for some of the big stuff, you know, ordering or, you know, setting up a scheduled
See, the other thing is
performer or something,
we don't
you
have,
could get a purchase order for that because you know in advance.
but we don't have
But
storage.
I understand that
Yeah.
you need,
Yeah,
Right.
we don't have
No, there
storage.
is
no, I know, but
You
I'm
should
talking
see that
about for
closet.
like, you know, somebody that's gonna come in and entertain or something, that they would know.
That's a PO.
That they can have the check made
Right.
out.
Right.
Right, that wouldn't be a
Right.
problem.
Yes.
But I understand that, you know, when you see a bargain, you wanna grab it. And so you need
Get
to
more
have a
money.
way to have that money in cash so that you can get it at that time.
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is unless
They do
there's a
have
credit card.
the credit card, I didn't know you didn't know it wasn't in.
Now, just for a point of, we do have a chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary on the rec committee.
We don't
Back when
really
it's
have
full.
a secretary, we did, but we don't now.
Right, but we set those up so if anybody asks, it's not just like Joe and Tammy and doing all this stuff like that. We have checks and balances
Right,
as well.
right.
Right.
Anytime I
As
go
it, as it
to
should be
get
from the very
something, I call
get-go,
Linda.
in case anybody.
I actually talked to Linda before I talked to him.
But at this juncture, what I'd recommend, because there's so few of you, and you being in the selectman job,
I need to be separated from it.
what I would, to me, the way I look at it, get the money in there that needs to be in there. And then
Be this-
you or Linda go out,
Linda.
you get whatever, and then you say, this is what we want, and you get the order from the selectmen. As it starts to take off, and now you can get more people in to help you, because now you have this, I mean, the thing I understand with
Right,
Yvette had it,
right.
because she got all flipped out because the way the money was working had nothing to do with the kids, but the way the money
Yeah,
was
right.
working. So if you can fix the way the money's working, now you can
Then
get
we
more
want it.
people in. Now, at that point, you get enough people in there, then you set up the chair, the secretary, and the treasurer. Skip the vice chair. You know, I keep hearing the vice chair thing. do the chair, the secretary, and the treasurer. And now, you can start that formalized committee. So
Right.
now it starts to take off. And that's just how it really needs to work in my view. And then, whether it needs to be codified, you know, and approved by the legislative body by establishing, and that's where Jack can help out, establishing a recreation committee
Mhm.
that shall have a, I would skip the treasurer, by the way, because that doesn't make any sense. Because that would require a separate fund.
Right, right.
A chair and a secretary, and then that's it. And the chair, you know, can make requests to the Board of Selectmen for approval on a monthly statement or something, and the Board of Selectmen give order to
Right,
the treasurer.
absolutely.
You can set up any kind of system that way. Ultimately, if there was a department, what I think would be a credit card with a limit.
Right. I was just gonna say that, yeah.
That's what I, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't use my credit card, I said, can't take it, said charge them $25 a year, but, you know, I had like a $2,000 credit card. So if I went anywhere, I can just charge it, but have something like that.
Right.
That way there's a constraint, in case you got somebody on the committee and they went rogue.
Well, now like when the nonprofits ask for money, they authorize a check. Okay, so if you had that much in the budget for your, you know, for recreation, parties, whatever, then you would be entitled to spend whatever the amount is in there, right, on those parties. Instead of them issuing a check, you know, or you having to go back in bits and pieces, they could give you one of those prepaid credit cards
Oh, she's right.
that you could spend against,
That's
just like
right.
you would spend against your budget amount.
Sure,
I don't know if the cost, if there's a fee to it or not, but that makes sense.
it does, it does.
That'd be
Makes
another
perfect
approach.
sense.
I mean, I personally, I don't understand a lot of this budgeting thing.
But that would make it a lot
So-
easier
What
on
it comes down
everybody
to,
around.
you may not understand it, but there's a public fiduciary responsibility to it, and that's what everybody wants to make sure to get locked down.
Right.
Because from some of the inklings that I heard, we weren't.
See, and lots of times, we can't just say what we want to say or what we would like to see you have,
Did we close this meeting?
because,
No.
no, because we can't verbalize our own independent thinking sometimes. It's kind of got to be, when we're speaking for the committee, it's kind of got to be what we know the town wants. Do you know what I mean?
I don't have a problem, my problem was, everybody was just at us. You gotta do this, you need to change this wording, you gotta do this, we'll do this, do that. Hey, I don't know all this RSA, whatever. It's like, just
Well, see, that's
Give
like
us a
the
budget,
article that we
tell
talked
us what
about
we can use it
at
for,
the public
let us
hearing.
go to work. That's
You
all
know,
I
and your
want.
article said recreation department, didn't it, or something? And I said, you know, there is no,
I changed the word
Because there
department,
wasn't-
committee in it. It
If
said in the
somebody
book,
wanted,
right,
I took the information from the department, and I wrote committee.
and then someone come
And
at
it said
us,
parking.
and we have to change that to
That warrant's
depart.
completely off
See,
the table.
somebody
Yeah.
changed it, so I mean, you know, we never know what's,
That-
It's a
you know,
regular,
who's
it's a regular
doing what
budget line,
sometimes.
it's not a warrant article.
That's
Right.
right.
I know we used to do
Right.
warrant articles on
Right.
this, to me, that was like.
There's no need of a warrant article. The idea was for them to set up the revolving fund so that any,
No,
I
I'm talking
think,
in
and-
past years, that's what we've.
Yeah, I know.
we've had.
but correct me if I'm wrong, the reason you wanted that was so that if you made
Money we could
$10,000 this year, you could keep it.
Yes, we wouldn't lose
Yeah,
it.
don't wanna go
We
in
could
See,
there.
add to it
Town-
so that we could have fundraisers to put the money in because our
But see,
budget
if you're,
doesn't allow us
if you're a
enough money to do
if
what
you're
we're
a
doing.
4-H club, you're allowed to do that, but if you're a town committee, you're not. You are, but it takes a different
You have,
setup.
you have to budget for it.
It takes a different
The
setup,
revolving fund is very clear,
yeah.
you know,
You know, when
How it works,
when
just
you're a
what I read the
department of the
statute.
town or a committee of the town and you
can't
make
buy.
money, it's gotta go back into the town.
you don't buy, basically, what I read is there's nothing in there that says you buy consumables or expendables.
But you know what? If you make $10,000 this year, and I'm just joking, you know that.
Revenue,
But you stand up at town meeting and you say, look, you gave us 3,500, we made 10. I'm gonna be the first one to say we ought to give them 10 next year.
Next
You know.
question. Next question. Pass, next.
Yeah.
Is that quick? And it just comes down to, having that,
You
Someone-
just have to be able
having
to
someone
say, this is
say-
what we did.
this
You
this
know.
is the relevant.
Besides, the most important thing is what you did for the town and what you did for the kids, you know? And then,
Well, what
in
happens
doing
is,
that, we made X amount of dollars.
well, like when
Why
Darlene
did
Cremens,
everybody cut
if you look
your
at the
budget?
old books, what you're getting at is Darlene Cremens would write up a report, like when they got the
He did,
dread
he
money.
wrote up a nice one last
Yeah.
year.
So there you go. And that's right there where you say it.
You didn't read that last year, you only read the school report.
I read,
Oh, okay.
I don't read anything.
And who had my books for 6 months?
Which one?
The
Your
old
son,
one,
your other son.
my other son?
I wanna
Okay.
know who's got the middle page of her book now.
Oh, you're missing a page?
She
Yeah, it
wasn't
goes
kidding.
38.43.
She isn't kidding, she's missing the middle page of her book. That's why I said you can't borrow any more books. You're too rough on equipment.
I haven't even looked at it. Was that more than I
Put
think?
some extra pages in there?
Jeanette, could I have my phone back, or did he give it back? Maybe he gave it back. Yeah, I guess he
You
did.
got it, don't you?
I don't know, but.
This one's
yeah.
mine.
That one.
Yeah, you make sure it's yours.
Yeah, she started getting mad throwing pictures everywhere.
And you get 2 copies of that?
Yes, I have 2 copies, 2 original copies of the budget.
Okay.
Not going anywhere except for
Big
the
copies,
maintenance.
yeah.
So if I make a motion for
Do you want a copy?
$170,000 for the other culture and recreation, we'll
You're
go
gonna
over the
pass
10% mark.
For how much, what?
170,000, we'll go over the 10%
I can get my
mark.
cotton candy machine for the kids that have wanted.
I could buy a pony farm for that.
But
No, I don't
Do you
want
want
it.
it?
No, because I'm
Why?
gonna, when I go tomorrow, hopefully I'll go through all that stack of papers that I got.
And then.
I'm gonna come back here and throw it in the
Try to
shovel.
do so much
That's a
work.
lot of shovel and crap.
Isn't
And
that what we do?
then if we have no pony, we now can sell the pony poop for fertilizer to our townspeople for make a profit
Why
that
am I
way.
not
Oh,
surprised that
that's
you came up
lousy,
with
that's
that?
lousy fertilizer, you get all kinds of weeds.
You do get weeds, but
Horrible.
Whatever money that we get,
me and you think
It's
so.
for our
legalized
children's
now.
party or whatever, we're spending every penny, so there will be no money left over.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much money right now does the rec committee have?
$469.
There you go.
So if you could put that right back in, if it gets going over there in March.
For what packet?
Is that
The
mine?
$469.
It's not mine. Someone threw it on me.
That's what I'm
Is that
looking for.
yours?
Yes, thank you.
Any missing
Okay,
pages?
that's the final one.
Can I make a motion
I
to
didn't
close
check
this
the
meeting?
middle.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
Absolutely,
gonna
you
watch the
can.
snow? I was gonna wait till it started
Is it
snowing,
snowing?
so.
Tomorrow it's gonna start, Ken, not
I was
tonight.
thinking of waiting until it starts snowing, the way we were
I'll
going.
second.
I still haven't moved this from
All in
the last
favor?
storm.
I,
Any opposed?
Tammy,
Tammy's post,
Ken just wants to stay here.
and it is
8:22.
8:22.
Yeah, we always used to set, start at 6:30 and end between 8 and 8:30, so that was the plan when we started the budget committee.
2 hours is.
There was a plan for this committee?
Everybody usually says 2 hours should be a
Yes.
committee meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, when we first.
Yeah, I can